Everyone's playing Scribble now. It's great. Scriddle. I could start over, but I'm not going to. Let's go and have a look at today's Scriddle. Scriddle number 25. These are on Scriddle.net. I will put a link in the description. I think from now on I'm able to post links to the specific puzzle. So even if it's past today, I think you'll still be able to play it. If you want to play the backlog, the ones like I think 1 to 23 or something like that, then just go to the site and send your email address. I'm pretty sure Eunice is still adding people who want them, and you can play all of them. They're great. Okay, so let's have a look at today's. So like, well, we have a 6x6 grid. We have 3x3 rooms. My expectation is that the numbers in the top left corner of rooms label the rooms and not the cells. So yeah, sounds like. I mean, I guess our default assumption has to, when we see something like this has to be that it tells us how many cells to shade in a room. So maybe we will try to shade that many cells, and then I guess we can try breaking that rule later. What do we think we might be trying to do? It's always popular to try to keep areas contiguous. We certainly can't keep all the black areas contiguous, but we might be able to keep the white areas contiguous. There's going to be we've probably not even got that rule. Let's do that for a start. Give me a second. I'm going to fix my audio. What have we? So we've got 3 rules. The red rule is broken by rooms. Maybe rooms with too much in them. Every room that failed there had 2 or more shaded cells. They all had adjacent shaded cells. They all had shaded cells that were adjacent to shaded cells in other rooms. The orange rule might be a rule about making rectangles. Hard to say. The yellow rule might be a rule saying that this might be saying that the shaded cells have to be contiguous. Yeah, maybe there's no. Maybe we'll try breaking this time. We'll not have. Actually, I want to remind you if it's saying that things have to be, or maybe it's saying that they have to not be contiguous. So that seems to overlap with that a little bit. Is it possible? Is it possible to avoid having cells in rooms touch other rooms? I mean, yes. Is that something we want to do? Does diagonal touching matter? Can we avoid diagonal touching? I don't think we can avoid diagonal touching, like here. But again, I'm sticking to I'm still trying to implement this rule of have the number that it says in the box, but that might not be true. Maybe we should try breaking that. Maybe if we try breaking that here by putting a box in a thing with a 0, maybe we take a cell out of a box like that. Oh, I really want to have a diagonally shaded two cell. Maybe try this. Okay, see what this tells us. Oh, we found new rules. We found new rules. So I think we do have a. Okay, so I think the blue rule is the one that we imagined. It's that we have to have the number of shaded cells that the number says. Don't know what the green rule is saying here. The red rule does seem to be. It seems to not like rooms that have shaded cells that touch shaded cells in other rooms. The yellow rule. What doesn't the yellow rule like? What doesn't the yellow rule like? So it's not. It's showing us the yellow rule. The yellow rule is highlighting shapes and not rooms. I guess. Does it? It's not that it touches a corner of the board, because this one does as well. Like this one and this one seem to be very similar. So I don't know why this one's upsets it and this one doesn't. Then again, maybe it's just showing us the first. Some of the feedback and some of the rules sometimes just doesn't show us the whole picture. What could the green rule be? I mean, maybe it means maybe it's no checkerboards. Does seem to apply to rooms. Might just do that and put these back the way we think they should be. What else might we do with this one? I mean, we could do. And we can move this. Now we're kind of stuck here. We're gonna touch. Kind of wants us to make a checkerboard here, and then it'll complain at us for doing so. Can we flip the checkerboard and see if that's? Oh, no, I want to change this one. What if we do this? What's this going to tell us? So we're meeting the numbers requirements. We've changed this one to see if it behaves differently or if it highlights a different one. Maybe it'll highlight this one now because this one's the shape that it complained about in this box before. Yeah. Maybe it won't like this joint here. Find it. Okay, we're passing everything except for the yellow rule. This is the one that's most mysterious to me for the yellow rules. Because it seems nothing special about this one at all. What did we think the red rule was? What did we think the red rule was? We thought that. Oh yeah, we think the red rule is no neighboring. No black cells in that are neighbors across a room boundary. Maybe the move to do here is to make a small change in that area and see if it. What if we swap it up? What if we swap it the other way up? Put it like this. We kind of have to. Alright, they're going to touch now if we do that. Yeah, it's just more dense up this part of the board. Yeah, we can't do that. Because these two will fail the red rule because this cell is touching this cell. Are we allowed checkerboards anywhere? Maybe, will this one fail the? Which rule was it? Was it the yellow rule that made the checkerboard fail? No, it was the green rule that made that fail. Will this fail the green rule now? And will anyone what will fail the yellow rule? Oh. So I mean, this makes me feel like the yellow rule is about connectivity, but I don't think that can be true because this one failed the yellow rule. Yeah, and we also failed the green rule. And what on earth is constraining these ones? Why would we put? Why does it matter where we put these cells? So okay, can we prove to ourselves that it is impossible to have no diagonal touching? I don't think this is I don't think this is the problem because of this piece of feedback. However, I was looking back over some of my videos recently, and there were games where I was on the wrong track for ages and ages because of an incomprehensible piece of feedback, because the feedback had some weird quirk that just didn't make any sense. And it's like the rule was simple, but the feedback was just baffling. So I would like to convince myself that there's no way to do this first. So how would we go about this? We would go about this by saying that if we want the 3-1 not to touch anything, so the 3-1 can only have a single white cell in it, we believe. So one or both of these twos has to look like this, right? They have to be like a bar at the top or a bar at the bottom. And the other one, well, actually, yeah, if we don't want diagonal touching at all, then it's as simple as that, right? Because no matter what shape of this we get here, we can't have a cell here, we can't have a cell here. So yeah, so if we're ruling out diagonal touching, then we need to put the 2s in that position, but we don't know what position the 3 would have. These ones are slightly more useful to us because they allow us to put things in. Yeah, this is probably the most useful 3 position because we don't care about this cell. But this 2 would still be preventing us putting anything here, so we'd have to put that there, we'd have to put that there. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it is impossible to prevent all diagonal touching if we are obeying the rule no orthogonal touching across cells. Yeah, and the rule of like use the number. So we seem to have the green rule seems to be no checkerboards. No cell should be a checkerboard. Do we have any other examples of creating checkerboards across? Yeah, so we created a checkerboard here over the cell, the cell, the cell, and the cell, and that didn't trigger the green rule. So the green rule is just in a room. It seems like we can't have a checkerboard in a room. So what else could be binding these together other than diagonal touching? Or what are they all doing? Like, it always seems to be like the yellow rule. I mean, I guess we're never breaking the yellow rule on the far right because there's just we're just not shading anything much up there. They're always like little discrete things. If we make everything touch diagonally, oh no, we still need to solve. We still need to not break the green rule. Is the goal to make everything? Maybe the goal is to make everything be in contact, and the feedback is again just like really misleading. Well, we need to know how to get. Or we do that. How about this? So this makes everything be in contact diagonally. Oh wait, no, we fail up here. So we can't have that touching there. Boo. Right, yeah, we can. Yeah, let's keep trying this. No, we can't. This maybe? We feel quite tightly constrained. This can't go wandering because it has to be in contact. This can't go wandering because it has to be in contact. We've got 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, 2 here. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this. This feels good. Oof. Not terrible, but that was a tricky rule. And again, that I feel like feedback was quite misleading. It's like everything had to be connected, but it was. There's always going to be. I feel like I have proposed that as the. Let's have a quick look at the rules. Shares and cells for farm blocks. Regions contain no more than one block. A block B. Alright, it was an orthogonally connected group of shaded cells. Okay. A number indicates the size of the block in the region. Shaded cells cannot be adjacent across region borders. Shaded cells cannot form a 2x2 square. Oh, I forgot about that rule. I guess it wasn't that critical. And all blocks form a diagonally contiguous area. Right, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the orange rule. We broke that once, and I was like, something about rectangles, and then we didn't really think about it again. Just divided in a room. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's called cocktail. So I think... Yeah. Yeah, so it's picking... Saying they're divided. See, I think... I thought about how would you present this? What is the least confusing way to present this feedback? That the shaded cells are divided, and I think there's two ways that we've seen attempted in Scriddles. One of them is highlight the. Actually, hold on. Let me have a look at do I have Inkscape open? I don't have Inkscape open, but I can get that open. One of them is to highlight the stuff doing the dividing, and one of them is to highlight some of the divided cells in some way. And they both can be they can both be misleading, but I think that there are ways that are more or less misleading to show this. Let's open OBS Scriddle. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. I drew some diagrams for this. Yeah, this was feedback on a previous one. Maybe that's slight spoilers for that one. Let me just draw a fresh diagram. Or even let's screenshot this and we can talk about it. Right, if I paste that in here, whoa, it's made it huge. Oh, and we have the what you call it? The shadows are removed. Let me put a background behind that so that you can. Oh no, of course that doesn't work. Ugh, I know it. You can live with it. You can read that. You can read that even if we can see through all of the black bits. So, I guess as we're going to make our own version of it momentarily. Sorry, the solution is finished. You can go on it. You can go if you want. I'm just going to continue here for a second. So if we've got this, oh, let's turn on snapping. No. So if we got this shape here, okay, let's delete those ones. Oops. Which one did I draw? That one? That one didn't want. So we've got this here, and I guess we might as well draw the white. Annette, do you have a point? Are you getting to a point? Just hold on. So the ways that you can show that this is a problem are, so the problem here is that the black space is divided because it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections here, right? By a diagonal connection in this case. So you can highlight highlight some portion of it, right? Some sub-separate component. If you highlight this one, it feels extremely arbitrary, right? I guess you're highlighting the top left one, but like any of these would be kind of like the same feedback and similarly misleading. I think it would be less misleading to highlight the largest connected component. In fact, no. I think it'd be you could highlight the largest one, but I think actually I think that actually the least misleading thing to do is highlight everything except for the largest one. Because in a sense, all of the smaller components, they are the problem because they are disconnected from the large component, right? And you could say it's the same for any of them, but like the largest one gives you the best chance of seeing that, like, oh, the problem is these things that don't connect to it, right? Does that make some kind of sense? Yeah, I get, like, maybe if you're in a very small situation, if you're like that, then yeah, you'd have what color did I have these? Like that, yeah. If you're like highlighting that, then it's not clear. But there's always going to be kind of corner cases. I don't think that's as misleading. So, and the other way to highlight it is to highlight the things that are doing the separating. And in this case, we end up with feedback that looks kind of like that. But quite often, what it ends up doing is it'll end up showing, like, highlighting some arbitrary part of the white area that is enough to partition things, but not complete. And this is also incredibly confusing feedback, right? There have been games where it highlights something like that, and it is. I mostly think of games where it's been orthogonally connected, so that's not quite the same here, because I guess in this case you would kind of have to fill in the corners to show that these things are being isolated in diagonally as well. But yeah, I think if you're going to do that, then you need to split up the whole thing into regions, and then highlight entire regions, or don't highlight entire regions. Highlight the regions that are separating. Yeah, unfortunately, in this case, that ends up being everything. Maybe not so useful. In other cases, it's going to be less when you've got like a where, like, suppose you had this set up, then these ones wouldn't be separating anything. Or are they? Oh no, they kind of, no, yeah, no, they don't separate. So like these ones separate this component from this component, and these ones separate this component from these components. Anyway, as I've been thinking about that, I'm thinking, how would you show this? I'd be interested to see this approach of, like, pick the largest connected component and then highlight all the other ones. But yeah, it's a tricky one. There's always going to be cases where it's confusing. Right, sorry, I dragged that out for much longer than we needed to. Hope you enjoyed today's Scriddle. As I say, I'll try and put links in the description, so you can go and, I mean, you've seen it now. You missed your chance, but I will try to do that when I'm putting these up, so that you can go and play it first. Yeah, thanks for hanging about. Bye.